We're going to keep families together, but the border is going to be just as tough as it's been.
All right, well, the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy is ripping through the country after emotional photos and recordings of children nationwide protests and attempts from Congress. The president signed an executive order to stop separating families who cross the border illegally. Joining me now to talk about what comes next is former U.S. Representative and Executive Director of Cincinnati Compass, Steve Driehaus. Thank you for joining us so early this morning.
Thanks for having us.
So the first question is, how is the president's executive order going to affect what is happening now?
Well, it makes a slight improvement in that you're no longer separating families, but you still have about 2,000 or 3,000 kids who have been separated from their families, and this executive order doesn't address how we're going to reunite them. And he's continuing with the zero-tolerance policy, which is to incarcerate the parents as they come across, and they're now saying that they're going to incarcerate the children with the parents. There's a court order that's long-standing that says we can't incarcerate children. So it really doesn't fully address the problem.
And so we're going to have to see what happens with that in the coming days. Now, of course, you're the executive director of Cincinnati Compass. Tell us, what is that?
Cincinnati Compass is an initiative of the mayor and the Chamber of Commerce, along with about 60 different organizations, to make Cincinnati a welcoming place for immigrants here. And it's really celebrating the contributions that are being made by immigrants in greater Cincinnati and advocating on their behalf.
And advocating on their behalf, obviously, some of the people that are crossing the border, as they are doing now, are escaping from situations that are just tragic, and they're trying to escape. How do we keep the border safe and also have compassion? What would you do if you were in Congress still?
We can certainly keep the border safe, and I think all of the representatives are saying they want to keep the border safe and they want to make that investment. So that's critical, but you're right. These people are coming from places where it is tragic. They're tragic situations. They're coming to the United States seeking refuge, and we should be a place that accepts people who are escaping violence, who are escaping these tragedies, and welcome them to the United States. Instead, we're ripping their kids away from them, and we're putting them in detention, and we're calling them criminals. That's not what this country is founded on. This country is founded on immigrants coming here and making a difference.
All right, Steve, well, obviously this is a big story. We're going to continue to follow this in the days ahead. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And you can get more on this developing story by logging on to WCPO.com. Ryan, back to you.